Hello again, this is a review of the gear that I took on the last hike that I did, which was the Dalrymple Track 2.0. This time around it was a lot drier and a lot hotter and a lot more humid, which is strange, but the humidity was much worse than last time. In fact, it was through the roof, and so some of the gear that I actually employed was wrong for the task. So I'll start by reviewing the Tatonka Lastenkraxe. It's got a alloy frame, and optional. You can buy the frame and the harness system and everything on its own, or you can buy the bag separately. I haven't seen a site yet here in Australia where you can buy everything together. Yeah, I had to get it from two completely different sites, the whole shebang. So I wanted to get the bag that's meant for it because it's meant for it. So you know, it was a bit of a mission attaching it because yeah, it's quite unique. So, but once you figure it out, you make a couple of mistakes, head in the wrong direction a couple of times, you can fix it. It's got exactly the same, the V2. It's got exactly the same V2. This is a V2 harness system as the Bison, the other Tatonka pack that I have. This one is not as comfortable, or it wasn't as comfortable as the Bison, even though I had more weight in the Bison when I carried that on the previous Dalrymple Track hike. It's a hike. It wasn't as comfortable. It just wasn't. I mean, I'm having a look at the shoulder pads and the. I'll hold it up here. The shoulder pads on the Bison are much more padded, much more substantial. And also the waist. Yeah, it's slightly different. The Bison is more comfortable. It's a better pack. But if you want to pack with a frame, then the Tatonka Lastenkraxe is certainly an option. It's still a good pack. It's still a great pack. But if I had the option of which one I would carry, it would be the Bison. Although the Lastenkraxe is a frame pack, so and it just stands up on its own. Sorry, I'm having a drink. Pardon me. Now, what did I employ that was really good? So I took it's a Nature Hike NH19Q034-D which, yeah, so it's a Nature Hike automatic inflatable sleeping pad. It's rectangular. It's obviously got a foam core. I wasn't sure if this was going to be anywhere near as comfortable as my Astro Nemo inflatable mattress, and there's a fair difference in the size of the things. All right, obviously the pad with the foam core is going to be bigger, probably I'd say twice as big, or more, 3 times as big, and maybe a little bit heavier, not a whole lot of difference in weight, but I can honestly say, and I was on hard, the ground was just dry as and compacted, and it was flat, it was extremely flat, but I have to say that this is a lot more comfortable than this. Surprising, really surprising, because with this you're like good 4 inches off the ground. You know, you've actually got support. You're not hitting bottom. With this thing, I don't know how to explain it. It was really, really comfortable. I'm a side sleeper, so I thought that was going to be an issue. It wasn't. This is excellent. And so I sort of go, when I'm buying this sort of stuff, I go mid-price typically, or upper mid-price. I don't normally buy the really, really cheap stuff. but yeah. Some of the, like, some really basic stuff I buy, cheap stuff, like there's a pillow. I'll be back in a sec. I didn't bring it. Sorry, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I can't find the pillow. I don't know what I did with it. It's really quite small. The package is really quite small. I haven't got it in here, have I? No. Or in here. In here, no. I don't know what I did with the pillow. I think it's a Nemo as well. It's only quite a small one. Haven't used inflatable pillows before. That was really good. So with the nature hike, excellent, really, really good. Highly advise it. It's more comfortable than the Astro. And I said originally when I did the review of the Astro Nemo air mattress, I said that was really comfortable. This nature hike self-inflating pad, twice as comfortable. Really, really good. Now, so what I employed as cover was the Wechsel Aurora 1 tent. It's a great tent, no two ways about it. One problem is trying to get it all back into the one, but I had all of this in this one bag, and I've rolled this up on my, I'm going to have to redo it because I can't get it all in there. Yeah. It's a cold weather tent, it's not a hot weather tent. I don't think any tent is hot weather, you know, for hot weather. But all the gear that it comes with, it's great. This ground sheet, protective ground sheet, I had to get separate. It doesn't come with the tent, but I highly recommend if you've got a quality tent that's, you know, worth a bit of money, even though I only got that for about 160 bucks, it was on special, it was a half price. If you can get one and you want a cold weather tent, you get the Wechsel Aurora 1. I don't know whether they've discontinued them and they were just getting rid of them, you know, everywhere, because wherever I looked, well, not everywhere I looked, but I saw on some sites they were at full price, and on a couple of sites they were half price. So it's a great tent. If you want to see it, you know, in its full glory, just have a look at the my video on the Dalrymple Track walk second time. So that's where I went wrong. I used the tent, and there was just no airflow, and it was just so humid that I was just sweating my guts. I'm still sweating my guts out now, actually, even though, because it's the monsoon. I'm supposed to be camping, but I can't because the monsoon has finally hit. It's been raining since yesterday. It did stop for a little while before, but it's raining again, which is a constant drizzle now. It was pouring down overnight, but it's just a constant drizzle now. So the monsoon has finally hit. It's almost January, so it's extremely late. Something's going on. The lights are flickering. Now, so the reason I've got the sunnies is because I'm using flood lighting. That's my lighting system. I don't have proper studio lighting. With studio lighting, it's a lot softer. That's another investment. Now, so as far as, you know, when I was in the Malaysian jungle with the army, we did a lot of work with the locals, the Malaysian army, and also Singaporeans, and they set up hammocks when they were going to bivouac, if you want to use that term, for the night. They made their own little hammock systems with cross bracing and hung a hammock and had they had what's it called? They had their wet weather gear as their poncho. They used as a, because they're only little people. Generally, they use their poncho as the hoochie, as the hooch. So that's the way to go. So I'm never ever going to use a tent in the hot months. Just no way, no way. I have got a tent that comes with a square tent that's just got a mesh inner. It's all around, so you can get really good airflow. But in the hotter months is when it's raining, so you need to get the cover over it. So I suppose you could put a hooch over the top, but to promote airflow. But you know what? From now on, it's definitely the old D. So this is the DD hammocks, DD frontline hammock. That's what I used the last time. I'm not a huge fan of hammocks, but so I'm going to use that combined with I can't remember what brand of tarp this is, which it doesn't really matter what brand, you know, it's a cheapie, but it's just a piece of plastic, you know. Now, something else that I would highly recommend is the old Lifestraw bottle. I use that again. It doesn't actually, what's this called? It's called, let me have a look. It's called, I don't know, Triton. Right, so this is the Lifestraw Triton bottle. Obviously, you fill that up with dirty water, or questionable water, screw that back on, flip that up, and you suck the guts out of it, and you get clean water. So this is the second time that I've used it. This is quite possibly the best investment that I've made. Excellent, really, really good. And this time in combination with the Lifestraw Flex, it's called. You can get a maximum of 650 ml in here. This is, you've got to know how to use it, because what it's got, so this one you unscrew, and when you're squeezing it, you've got to make sure that the water can get in there in that nipple. Otherwise you're not going to have any water coming out. It's unlike this one that it's got slots right the length of the filter. This one is different. This has got a linear filter. This worked excellent. It does come with this, what's it called? A clear backwash with clean water only. So this is a backwash straw. You're supposed to suck clean water in and then blow, and then when you have this out, and whoops, you stick that in there, and then you backwash to squeeze all the crap out, clear the filter. I found that just stick your mouth over and blow it, you know. That way you don't have to carry that thing. I didn't carry this and employ it. So that's another good item, a really good item, because that way you can get water and you can get it into a bottle. You can't do that with this. This thing you got to suck on. This thing you just squeeze the water into the bottle, and then you got a bottle of the old Nalgene. You got a bottle of clean water, which you can use in a cup and your Dixies, your pans and that, saucepans and that. Okay, what else did I use? The Petzl Tikkina. This is a real cheapie. It's probably the bottom of the line. Petzl headlamp. I used that. That's pretty good. It's more of like a flood. It doesn't. You can't really. And I've also got. I also invested in the Petzl. What's it called? The battery. Their proprietary battery. I've heard some, I don't know, negative remarks regarding these batteries, that they're a bit questionable sometimes. I didn't have a problem with it. Yeah, I didn't use it that much. It was only one night. But yeah, it's really light. Even with the battery, it's really light. It's all you really need. I'm not hunting. I wasn't hunting, so I didn't need anything more bulky or you know, anything with a spotlight. So I had some spare batteries. So that worked well. That's great. You'd expect with a brand like Petzl, who have got quite a reputation, that their stuff would be good, and yeah, it was good. It's only cheap. It was only like $30 or something. Yeah. The other thing that I employed that I did not actually use, I didn't employ it, but I always take with me, is the PLB, Personal Locator Beacon. Pardon me. This is a Safety Alert KTI. It's really quite small. You know, if you're camping alone, so it's really quite a small unit, and it comes with a signalling mirror as well. So that's nice. Get a free signalling mirror. You know, if you're going to camp alone, if you're going to do anything, even if you're in a group and you're going in a remote area, invest in one of these, for God's sake, seriously. And now that I'm actually a subscriber to the RFDS, the Royal Flying Doctor Service, they're probably the people that would transport me, you know, more than likely. So I'll give a plug out to the RFDS, the Royal Flying Doctor Service. If you're not a subscriber, I'm paying like $35 a month to them. They do a fantastic job. I think they get I can't remember how many million, I think they get something like $50 million from the government, but it costs them at least twice as much to keep their service running, and they do a fantastic job. So don't be tight. They might rescue you one day. Something like, I was talking to a guy called Errol, who's a plug out to Errol. I think he said like something like 25%, because people in the city sort of poo-poo it and say, yeah, it's got nothing to do with us, but something like 25% of RFDS people who actually get transported by the RFDS are from the city, so 25%, so that's significant. It's not just people in the country. One other thing that I used last time also as well, is the Cedar Summit. Does it have any writing on it? No, not really. Cedar Summit, just Cedar Summit microfiber towel. Comes in this container, so it's just a microfiber towel. Fantastic, like really good. They're excellent. They dry in no time. They're really absorbent, dry in no time. One thing that I didn't take, but I want to take, because I didn't need it, because I was going to be bathing in pools, which I did. One thing that I will be taking, I think, on this next trek, because it's in a crocodile area, so I'm not going to be bathing in the river, is the Cedar Summit pocket shower. It holds 10 litres. It's going to be interesting, so I'll give you a review of that when I use it. Let's see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm never going to use a tent again in the hot weather months. In the hot months, in the cooler months, yeah, I'll probably use it. But it's definitely, hammock is the way to go in the tropical months. The Lastenkraxe is a great pack, you know, no doubt about it. It's a great pack. It is not as comfortable as the Bison. The Bison is still, this Tatonka Bison is still the most comfortable pack I've ever worn. No doubt about that. Yeah, it's excellent. It's really, really good. So that's probably about it. Yeah, so hopefully the next time you'll see me is on G11 Outdoors anyway, is when I am doing this next trek, which is again in the Giringun State Forest, but it's in another part of it. It's a massive state forest, so there's all different places where you can go in it. So hopefully that's next, and hope you enjoyed the review. Any questions, just send me a comment. See you later.